the other day, and I realized that one of the reasons that people are so hesitant to jump on board the self-driving electric car bandwagon is because they still have too much fun and they get too much pleasure out of driving cars with internal combustion engines and cars that they have full control of. And so in order for the automotive industry or the political lobby, who's ever getting paid by the automotive industry to make this happen, it's not a partisan thing, it's always a money thing. They're not going to really successfully be able to get people to give up driving their, 30-year-old, 40-year-old Mercedes or any other car, because people enjoy this stuff so much. If you see some young guy, 24 years old, maybe he's in the military or something, gets a stipend, buys a new car, goes out and buys a 5-year-old Hellcat, or, some young kid who always wanted a truck, goes out and buys a 10-year-old diesel truck or whatever. They get real excited because they're driving and enjoying their first vehicle with an internal combustion engine. And it's the same thing. We see this with a lot of younger guys in their Mercedes. It's funny because they get in these 30, 40, 50-year-old Mercedes and they go, man, the visibility in this car is so good. Wow, I can see. Wow, I can reach everything. Wow, everything feels really high quality. And people wonder, those of you who are looking and peering through the glass on the outside wonder why people put money and time into these cars. And it's because they offer a driving experience you can't buy anymore. But the automotive industry is slowly doing something to get people into self-driving electric cars by getting people to do two things. They're getting them to hate internal combustion engines, not because of the way they run or how much power they have, but because internal combustion engines among many manufacturers are getting worse and worse and worse and worse. If you look at engines like the one in the first generation CLA, or the engine that's in, the 3-cylinder Ford EcoBoost engine that's in an EcoSport or similar car, or the fact that the Buick Enclave has a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder turbo and looks like a throwaway car. Whereas you see some of these companies trying to make more attractive and seamless electric cars that actually look like real cars. Now, not all automotive manufacturers are buying into this. A really great example would be Chrysler or Stellantis. They are not selling a lot of big V8 rear-wheel drive cars right now, but they are selling a lot of trucks. People love their trucks. They're not going to be making an electric pickup truck, especially because that factory that builds full-size Cummins diesel engine Rams trucks is a money-printing machine. There's never going to be a day when nobody wants a diesel Cummins pickup. That's why Nissan went to Cummins and was like, please give us one of your engines to put in our truck that no one wants. Then, of course, you have other interesting scenarios where they kill off engines, like Mercedes killed off their V12 because they're like, oh, we have an electric car you guys are going to want. I can tell you that the road from going to from a V12 engine AMG car to an electric car is not a direct route. You can't get the V12 AMG, so you get a V8. But then wait, the V8 is gone now. So what do? Your next car is an inline 6-cylinder. And then the inline 6-cylinder is nice, but it's, you're like, man, I want a little bit more power. Oh, we have this electric car that has a V12-like acceleration. So then they get one of those, but it's like a gradual, like we're taking away the availability of a decent internal combustion engine, and you miss the power, and so here, take this electric car. Please buy this electric car from us. Now, we're going to talk at the self-driving thing too. Most new cars are pretty awful to drive. That means as a driver, you don't have the same control and usability of your modern vehicle that you would have had of a vehicle that was several decades old. Now, this isn't always the case I've driven a Pontiac J2000 before, which is basically a Chevy Citation. It was not pleasant. It did not stop well, did not handle well, but at the same time, if you've driven a car like a 300 SD or a 560 SEC or a 560 SL or heck, even a 190E, you'll notice that ergonomically the cars are amazing. And the act of driving them, the act of controlling them, shifting gears, activating the steering, the brakes, it's all very mechanical and very responsive when the car's suspensions or steering gears are not worn out. Now, in modern cars, all these fun features have been hidden or muted by processes that are electronic in their execution. That means if you step on the gas, there's a signal that goes to a computer that says, okay, apply throttle. Or if you shift the gears in your automatic transmission, it goes to a control unit that says, okay, activate motor and transmission to put car in drive. And you don't even have a real gear shift. And you don't have a real gas pedal. You know, in some cars, you don't even have a real, it looks like a brake pedal because that's what people are used to, but really it's just an electric switch. Imagine if you had a button sticking out of the floor that was labeled brake, and you had a little switch, a little thumb wheel switch that you rotated to select the different gears, and it said transmission, you know, maybe with a Chinese script. I would hate driving a car like this, but the reality is that this is the modern car. And when people don't have control over the processes of their modern car, they start to become really paranoid and really, they start to become paranoid and they start to not trust themselves very much. And ultimately, that is what is at the core of the conversion from bringing people to internal combustion vehicles that you drive to the self-driving car. People currently trust themselves more than the self-driving car. Like, I trust myself more to drive a Tesla truck than I would, you know, letting the Tesla truck drive me. But the automotive industry and whatever lobby is associated with it, whatever money-hungry conglomerate wants this to happen, wants you to stop trusting yourself so that you are willing to give control over to them. And the way they're going to do it is by making their modern cars harder and harder and more difficult and less sensible to operate, to the point where you become frustrated and discouraged operating them. That's why you see, I'm pretty sure companies like LKQ, and by the way, if you work for LKQ, I almost feel like it would have been more acceptable to work for Dan Schneider at Nickelodeon, you know, if you get the reference. But LKQ is such a horrible company, and I'm pretty sure that they're getting paid by someone, I don't know who, somebody, maybe the guys that are running the teleprompter, to take cars off the road. Old cars. Oh, we can't sell you a car. This car is for parts. That's our corporate policy. You know, there's no reason why they can't sell the car. It's just their stupid policy because somebody is paying them to take older cars off the road. And this is one of the reasons why I tell people think twice before you part out a classic Mercedes, because your new car is a temporary solution, and the next one you buy and the next one you buy and the next one you buy are going to be worse and worse cars until finally you get so sick of owning and buying cars you give it up for the electric self-driving car that the auto manufacturers and their corporate and government overlords want you to own. And in this society, I'm telling you now, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, that the politics are all a distraction. They really want you to give up control of everything because they want to be able to control you. And they especially want to be able to control you if you are a person who thinks for themselves, if you're a free-thinking individual who wants to make their own decisions and decide where they want to go. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little dose of reality. Please like, share, and subscribe for more unpleasant truths about the automotive industry. And if you're driving a 30, 40, 50-year-old Mercedes, just remember that no matter how many myths they create about fossil fuels being no longer available, or parts no longer being available, or this or that, don't give in to the fear, hold out till the end. We'll see you in the next video.